Jaylen Brown probably couldn't understand it. Just after fighting to the end in the finals, he was informed that he was on the shelf. Jaylen could only express his displeasure on social media. When people talk about the core of the Celtics, Tatum always steals the limelight. The team's action confirmed this guess. This caused Jaylen Brown to doubt himself. Is he really worse than Tatum? Unlike most NBA stars, Jaylen Brown comes from a wealthy family. His father was a professional boxer. Since school time, his father made a very regular and strict schedule for Brown. It seems that there were only 2 words in the father's dictionary. That is discipline. Jaylen's mother is a high achiever. She taught Brown the principles of dealing with people since childhood. So it's no wonder, with the physical and mental education of his parents, Jaylen became very smart from a young age. Apart from playing basketball, Jaylen's favorite thing is academic research. This also paved the way for him to later join the Players Union. In fact, Jaylen's basketball talent is not considered high, but it's more than enough compared to his peers. In high school, Jaylen managed to balance both academics and basketball. Even beyond that, he would go to upper grades to learn Spanish. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. History and philosophy are a piece of cake for him, but his behavior was determined by the teacher as not proper. After accidentally being late one time, his high school teacher bluntly told him, "I will definitely visit you in prison in 5 years." This shocked Jaylen. No one had ever scolded him like this before. He didn't understand why. After being wronged, Jaylen did not collapse. On the contrary, he was determined. He must prove that the teacher's words are wrong. He started to dual-track development. Every day besides studying is practicing. Mother saw Jaylen's unusual performance. Want to ask what happened? Jaylen only said one sentence to his mother. "Basketball and knowledge, I must do the best." The fact proved that Brown did achieve it. In the 4 years of high school, he replaced Ingram, becoming the first high school student in the United States. In the selection of colleges, Jaylen didn't just want to play basketball, so he refused the invitations to famous basketball schools like Duke, and instead joined the University of California, Berkeley. Although the school's basketball level is not high, but in academic research is one of the world's top. In Jaylen's words, the skills will gradually improve, but some things can only be learned in this school. Despite his efforts, but still received a lot of doubt. Once when he was invited to participate in the training of the youth national team, Coach Donovan bluntly told him, "You will definitely be eliminated. Let's just wait and see." This time Jaylen Brown didn't have much emotional change. He knew that only if he was good enough can make others look at him with respect. After finishing his sophomore year, Jaylen decided to participate in the NBA draft. By the way, there is one more thing. Before participating in the draft, he completed a research evaluation project report. I hope you understand. There can only be one boss in a team. Irving dissatisfiedly warned the management. Actually, what made Irving feel threatened? Not the new star Tatum, but the team's other talented young player, Jaylen Brown. In 2016, Jaylen Brown brought his own agent team, went to the draft site alone. Brown said he had no plans to hire an agent, because he wanted to learn about this knowledge. So he decided to set up his own agent team, but his action nearly messed things up. All the teams in the league were full of doubts about him. After all, it's his own agency team. Certainly they would overstate his advantages. But Ainge didn't think so. He saw the exceptional qualities in Jaylen. This kind of poised player is exactly what the team needs. So the Boston Celtics, holding the 3rd pick, summoned Jaylen Brown. On the day of being selected, Jaylen posted a message on social media. "The general meaning is those who look down on me. Sorry to let you down today." He used the hardest method to counteract those who had belittled him. And this was only the first step. In his first year with the Celtics, Isaiah Thomas was still the absolute core. Marcus Smart earned his place with his attitude. On the contrary, Jaylen had some bad luck. He barely got a few minutes of playing time. Just went through a year in a daze. Jaylen realized that some changes were needed, since he couldn't get the tactical position. Then start from the defense, because the young coach's system is to switch when there's a pick and roll. So he was inevitably bullied by some big centers. This to a certain extent toughened him. Fortunately, Jaylen is not weak in physical confrontation. Its relation to the plan his father made for him when he was young is unsurprisingly significant. Gradually, Jaylen had his place in the team. Stevens, the young coach, began to pay attention to Jaylen. One reason for this is, at the 2017 draft, the team used the 3rd pick to select another talented guy. Tatum was once known as Kobe's disciple. The young coach saw the potential of these 2 young people, so he began to focus on their training. Just as Brown was gradually finding his footing, a trade by the team put him back into a tough position. Kyrie Irving, a big figure, was invited over by the Celtics. Although the first year was very sweet, but it was just when Irving was a spectator. In the battle for 7th position with James, Brown realized his shortcomings for the first time. Relatively young Tatum played relatively better. After Irving took to the court in the 2nd year, all kinds of problems were exposed. Irving accused the young people of not taking orders, and publicly revealed dressing room differences. The other young players on the team did not say anything, but Brown believed, if nobody speaks up, the team's conflicts will escalate. Perhaps Irving's ambition was too great. Upon seeing the young players did not want to conform to management, he turned around and joined the Nets. And Brown's career, with Irving's departure, had reached a new height. Jaylen Brown definitely has the strength to be a core member. It's all up to what he wants. Celtics legend Pierce has more than once praised Brown in front of the media. Compared to Tatum, he likes Jaylen Brown a little bit more. After Irving left the Celtics, Jaylen Brown completely burst onto the scene. On-court statistics rapidly improved. Whether it's offense or defense, Brown has a good performance. The fans were very surprised. Could it just be because Irving left the team? Of course not. During the offseason, Brown found McGrady, wanting to further improve his abilities. Originally, Brown did not harbor much hope. The first phone call did not even go through, but McGrady quickly returned the call. After stating his intentions, McGrady was very willing. This made Brown very happy, because his idol since childhood has been McGrady. After several months of intensive training, Brown impressed everyone. His performance even overshadowed Tatum for a while. But the Celtics did not think so. They seem to have confirmed Tatum is the core player for the future team. At first, Brown had no objections. If he's a secondary leader, he's a secondary leader. Just to be able to play here is fine. But is this really the case? During the 2022 playoffs, the Celtics fought all the way. First they sent Durant home to fish. Then in the semifinals they defeated the defending champion Bucks. Eastern Conference Finals went to 7 games with the Heat. Can say each step was extremely tough. Going into the finals, the team's star player Tatum, faced with high-intensity defense, he panicked for a while. Various fancy errors were disappointing. In contrast, Jaylen Brown, time and time again stood up when the team was in crisis, formed a stark contrast with Tatum. After the first 2 games, the team believed Tatum would adjust his status. But what they didn't expect, he actually lost 6 straight. In the critical 6th war, continuous low-level mistakes were unbearable. After the finals loss, Tatum did not show any reaction. Brown also did not say anything. After all, they are teammates. They have to fight side by side next season, right? But with more time in the offseason, Brown realized something was not right. After Durant announced he was seeking a trade, the Celtics also included him. He understood what this meant. If a trade was finalized, either Tatum or he would definitely have to go. Some time passed. The Celtics' actions confirmed the speculation. The team, in order to pursue Durant, had already issued the final terms. That is, besides Tatum, any other players could be traded. They then followed up with a statement. Jaylen Brown is the main chip for trading Durant. This made him very disappointed. He had given his all to the Celtics, but in the end did not get respect in return. If the trade really is executed, Brown may compete fiercely with Durant in the next season. Use his strength to prove that he is worthy of being a central player for the Celtics.